They're small, very small.
Yeah, it's broken though. It's like,
How much is this one?
it's only 200, but
Wow.
it's broken. See, like, I'll show you. What's up, guys? So I got a good video for you today. We're gonna get back to working on this greenhouse, and I got some awesome power tools to show you guys. These lithium ones, like, they're interesting. You'll see what I mean. And we just gotta go to the hardware store as well, pick up a few bits and pieces, return some stuff. I don't have the receipt, unfortunately, for some of it, but we'll see how we go. So that's how it looks at night. Well, it's early morning actually. It's like around 6 a.m. What's up, guys? I've got an interesting one for you today. And later I've got some interesting EUC stories. So, you know, I don't have my EUC at the moment, right? I'm just waiting for that to come back. It should come back in like a few days, I reckon. It'll get sent back, you know, shouldn't take too long, hopefully. So, what we're looking at is just an old construction. I rode past on my EUC and I thought, I'll take a photo of this because it looks awesome. And you don't see too many of these. Not only that, but they don't build them like this anymore. Because, well, there's a very good reason. And that's part of what this video is about. But I'll explain that as I go through. And it's quite interesting. If you look on the right here, you see a modern building. I'll go into full screen here. And you'd probably expect that to be knocked down within our lifetime, really. The way they do it these days. I mean, they're constantly knocking things down and rebuilding them, right? It's the thing to do now. Who knows how old this thing is? But it's still standing, and I bet you in 100 years it's going to look exactly the same. It won't look any different. You could take a photo of it, and that's just how it's going to look for maybe the next 1,000 years. You know, these things last forever. And why do they choose to do it this way, right? It looks like garbage too. It looks like a prison. I don't know what that is, but look at there's like one window. And look at all the wall. Look at all. There's nothing. Anyway, why don't they do it like this anymore? So, let's look at some more photos. And by the way, I took these photos as I was just on my EUC. Like, I'll just take some photos. And you always see construction as you go past, you know. And I'm actually interested in construction. I studied mechanical engineering, and I studied some courses related to the analysis of these structures, analyzing the forces in the X and Y directions, the torques at each point, and the material science that lets you determine whether it's going to hold up or not. And it's very interesting, but we didn't do anything practical. It was all theory and all, you know, in books. So yeah, when I see these actually getting done, it's kind of interesting and nice to see. But why do they do it like this now? Why do they build buildings out of matchsticks, basically? Right? Knowing they're going to have to get knocked down within our lifetime. You know, it's a big job to build a house or a building. You know, do you really want to just keep building it and building it? Right? Well, not if you're not getting paid much for it, that's for sure. If you're just a laborer, or I guess you want to be in business, you want to stay in business. But what about if you own the company that provides the materials, right? The logging companies, the mining companies, or the company that provides the machines? You know, the machines required to do these jobs. Do you reckon they would want to stay in business? I reckon they would. And what about the companies that provide the materials to make the machines, right? It all goes like, it gets deep, you know, like it goes deep. And when you look at the incentives involved in building them this way, as opposed to this way, the other way we saw, then it becomes obvious why we don't build them like this anymore. Right? Oops, let's go back there. Right? It looks beautiful too. It looks like something out of a storybook, doesn't it? But the thing is, it's going to last forever. It'll last for your entire lifetime, and then 10 more lifetimes after that, and then who knows how long. You know, they can last for thousands of years. I mean, look at the pyramids. You know, how old are they? Some of those are 5,000 years old. 5,000. You know, and now with this thing's going to be knocked down in like 20 years probably. You know? It's crazy. But I like these kind of things, you know, and I kind of get into it myself a bit. You know, maybe you saw my other video where I was building the greenhouse, right? And when I went to build my own greenhouse, I noticed some interesting things, guys. And I used these construction sites as a guide. I would go past to my EUC, get some photos, and take note of what they were doing. And I noticed they all seem to follow a similar procedure where they build this entire frame on top of a concrete slab that covers the entire footprint of the frame. And when I had to build mine, I decided not to use a big slab of concrete in the end. I just dug a trench around it and had mini foundations for each post. And there was also an L-shaped piece of concrete here. So I could use that as part of my method of attaching the frame to the ground, right? But see there, for example, I can put a screw in there. But one thing I noticed, and this is the interesting thing, is that there's different grades of pine. And when I went to buy the pine, the wood for my build, I had options. I could either buy the cheapest stuff, which is not termite resistant and it's not moisture resistant. So it's guaranteed not to last. It's going to rot. All right? Because moisture will get in. Unless you live in the driest environment possible. It's going to rot eventually. And you're going to have to knock it down. So I paid an extra $1 and I got the good stuff. Termite resistant, moisture resistant. And what you'll find is that when they build these things, these sites, they always use the cheap stuff. Every single time. They even call it construction lumber. They save the extra $1 and they build something that's going to rot and something they know they're going to have to knock down very soon. And they do it every single time. This isn't like an exception. It's the rule. The only time they use the moisture resistant stuff is when they're laying down these pieces. These very bottom pieces that are laying flat on the concrete, they use moisture resistant lumber for that one. Right? Any of these pieces, like over here you've got another one like just there. You got one over there. All those pieces are moisture resistant. The rest of the build is not. The whole thing, like, it's crazy. And it goes to show what they want. They want these things not to last. They want them to fall down. They want to have to knock them down, right? It's part of the code, basically. These things need to be demolished very soon and rebuilt. Just think about that. Smash the whole thing down, take away all the garbage that it produces, and ship out a whole bunch of new materials to build another one. It's insanity. Oh, these are some batteries out of scooters, actually. I bought a bunch of these. Got to put those to use. I might use them to power the greenhouse lighting, actually. That's what I might do. But let's find these photos. All right. Oh, another construction here. All right, so we've got some brick. Oh, flat tire. Flat EUC tire. That's the 16X. That's what actually forced me to start riding my Sherman back when I didn't like the Sherman. All right, so this is my greenhouse that I've been building. And let me go to the like the before photo. So this is like before I started. Well, I had actually already done a lot of work just to get to this stage, because there was just there was a mound of dirt, and there was also this crusty old frame. I don't know what it was. It was just some old homemade greenhouse or something, and I just demolished it with a circular saw, this cordless power tool, and I took it down and I took all the scraps away with my EUC. I hauled it off to a dump in lots of trips though. I used this big bin, and I filled that up with scraps, right? And then made lots of trips. So I used my EUC for a demolition job, along with a cordless power tool, a Ryobi circular saw. Did a pretty good job, but it kind of stalled a lot. Like, I wish it was more powerful. I could have just done it like a ninja, you know? It would have been awesome. Awesome fun. It was fun, but dangerous. I mean, you got to be careful though. Like, I wasn't just being an idiot. I know the safety precautions involved with, especially doing those kind of cuts where you pull back the safety. But anyway, I did that, and I had to haul a bunch of dirt away, like literally tons and tons and tons. Literally. I don't know how many tons, but 4 tons, I would say, probably more. And I did a lot of it with my EUC as well. I'll tell you how I did it. I built my own cart, right? This wooden contraption. You know, I just bought a bunch of lumber from the hardware store and put this thing together, and it can fit like half a ton of dirt, right? So I used I figured I'll just try and haul it away with my EUC. And when I first tried, I filled it up with dirt, and it broke the wheels. They just like collapsed, but nothing else broke. So I was able to just replace the wheels and try again, right? So then I put 300 kilos of dirt, and it worked, but the EUC was struggling, just to get up to any speed at all, just to go from 0 to 1 kilometer an hour. So I didn't try it. And I figured, I can only fill it halfway or a bit less. And I was able to get it going. I would have to kickstart it with my foot, right? Because the EUC struggles to go from 0 to 1 kilometer an hour, right? And then so I could just do it with my foot, give it a kick, and then take off. And the EUC just got it up to speed, like this big pile of dirt, just like a truck going along. It was just blowing people's minds when they saw this thing. It was so loud too, going 30 kilometers an hour, just massive thing full of dirt. And there was a place a couple of kilometers away, over a mile away, right? It was basically a bunch of trees and a bunch of dirt. That's all it was. And I figured, all right, I'll just put my dirt on top of that dirt. Why not? You could barely even notice it because I flattened it all out over a big area. And couldn't even see the difference. But then after a while, like, I got lots of loads done, right? Back and forth, back and forth. And these construction guys got to know me as well. They're like, oh, it's that guy. It's that guy with the cart on that thing. You know, they didn't even know what it was. You know, imagine seeing that. You don't even know what an EUC is, right? They already get tripped out if they see an EUC, but then they see an EUC pushing a wooden box full of dirt, you know, as heavy as a car, basically. You know? And yeah, they were tripped out by it, but they loved it. But then this lady called the cops. I mean, no, she didn't call the cops. She came out and said she was gonna call the cops, right? She was like, what are you doing? Like, putting dirt on top of dirt, basically. And I was like, oh, I'm just, what did I say? Oh, I said someone told me to do it, you know? Someone told me, oh, put this dirt on top of that dirt. And then she said, who? And I couldn't come up with a name. I stalled, like, I just lost my focus or something. And I said, like, Willie Wilson. And she said she's going to call the cops. So I just cruised off. And she was like, hey, like, she wanted me to wait there. And I just went out, like, got on my EUC and just, like, took off with the empty cart. Because when it's empty, it's, like, it weighs nothing. Well, it still weighs quite a bit, but the EUC just powers off, you know, like, it was hilarious. She just, like, couldn't believe it. And that was it. I never went back there. So I just got, like, the rest taken out in a big truck, basically. I showed you this greenhouse in a, like, I think 4 videos ago, or something like that. And now I'm just installing some lighting. See these LED lights? They're pretty cheap. Like, I got them on eBay for, like, it's like $10 each or something. So I'm gonna fill this whole greenhouse up. See, I'm doing, like, I'm finishing this row here. See, like, 1, 2, 3, there's going to be 7 per row. See, just these bits that are overhanging. I'm just going to neaten this up a bit. So, like, put it there somewhere. And just see up there, there's pieces overhanging, just like, the cable's a bit too long because I didn't measure it out. Well, I measured it precisely, but I didn't solder it all together precisely, so there's a bit of overhang. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be too short, because too short is okay. Oh, sorry, too long is alright, but too short. Alright, so I'll just get that done. And this here, I'll tell you about this in a sec. Well, this piping, in case you didn't see that other video. Where'd I put these? And I built this whole greenhouse by myself, like from scratch. It was just a pile of dirt here. And I mentioned it in the other video, but yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, and I watched lots of tutorials. A good one was Bill's How To, that channel. I subbed to that channel and learned a lot of stuff there, bought a lot of Ryobi tools. I don't know if you know Ryobi, it's like cheap. The brand is cheap, but it's good. Supposedly. I think, yeah, it is good though. I've got tons of tools, and yeah, none of them have failed actually. A couple of them, but they're reliable, I would say, and they're good. mostly ready. I need to cover this door with the clear sheeting, and the rest of it's ready. See, that's the roof, and I did this gutter and everything myself. And this other side needs to be covered as well. So that only take like an hour. Up here, clip them in, and that's it. See? And then it's, oh no. And done. So then it's plug this in, and that's done. And I'll just do a bit of cable management here. Got these little cable clips, or whatever they're called. Jump across here to this one. Alright, it's done. So, now turn it on, I guess. How's that? How about that? I don't know if you can see it, but it looks awesome. The colors at least. And I'll have another one here, see? There's 7 rafters. The wood that goes across. So I've only got 6 LEDs, and there's one missing here. So I'll have one more here on that rafter, and then that'll be 7. So there'll be 3 rows. So there'll be 21 in total. There'll be 21 lights, and that's what 30 times 21, 630. 630 watts is what it will use up all up in total. So I'm hoping to set it up with solar. So I need a few batteries, and I only need a few hours of runtime really, because all you want to do is extend the day, right? So when it's winter, the day's shorter, and you just want a longer day. So you only need these lights to be on for like, say 3 hours, maybe 4. And that'll give you enough extra light to make the plants think it's spring or summer. And they'll grow well, you know. So, if I have just a few batteries, right, what's 630 watts? Let's say 3 hours. So I need like, let's say 2 kilowatt hours, just to be safe. So I need 2 kilowatt hours of storage. That's not that much really, is it? The Sherman's got 3.2, so my Sherman battery could run not just what you see here, but 21 of them. So imagine this whole thing is full of 3 rows all the way across. The Sherman could run all of that for like 3 hours. Right? No. 5 hours. Wow. Yeah. So the Sherman could run all of that for 5 hours. That's crazy. Yeah, if I just get someone, I reckon some LiPo batteries or something. LiPo, not LiPo. Lithium phosphate. Lithium iron phosphate, I think. And yeah, it's freaking hot in here, guys. It's like my camera keeps shutting down. So I'm gonna put it in the shade. Because, you know, it's a greenhouse, right? The greenhouse effect. And it's a hot day already. It's like close to 40 degrees Celsius. And this was my first ever build, like my first time actually building anything like this really. I had never even built a cubby house or anything. Actually, I built that fence. See that fence? I built that. And that, yeah, it was kind of practice for building this, I guess. So yeah, it turned out good. I like the way the clear shading looks. And when it's full of light, it's gonna look awesome, I reckon. Alright guys, I need a drill. Any drill. Can you see one? But actually, guys, this is part of the reason why I'm broke, because I bought tons of tools when I made the greenhouse, and I thought, why not? Because these last forever, basically. Any tool I've ever bought, like any of these cordless tools I've ever bought, has never broken down. So yeah, it's like a good investment, you know. I got lots of these for like $5 too, like that. $5, and it's awesome. It uses the same lithium battery as well as the brand new ones, like this. This thing is like, this is magical. Somehow, it's known for its torque, right? It's got tons of torque, way more than your regular, like, you know, cordless drill like this, right? These are still got a lot of torque. You can up the torque there on the dial, and you can change the gear. So if you put into first gear, it'll have quite a lot of torque. But these things here have just massive amounts of torque. It doesn't even compare. You know, when you're doing like a hard job, like a massive screw or something that you need to drill through a piece of whatever, this thing here will struggle, right? It might get the job done, but it might not. It will struggle regardless. But the little one here, it just like powers it through like nothing, and it will keep going. Like it will destroy whatever you're drilling into if you're not careful. And it's crazy. But it gets even crazier because somehow, I don't know how, and that's why I say it's magical. That's why I say it's magic, because it's also got tons of speed. So it's got way more torque and way more speed. You know, when you're powering it in, it goes so fast, you know. And you can see like it's got a really fast rate of spin. Whereas this thing, it does it as well, but it's a bit slower. And yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? This little thing has way more torque and way more speed. And it uses the same battery. See, I got, and that's a staple gun. These are just light duty ones. Another staple gun, and that's a finishing nailer. So they're pretty big nails, but they're not big enough to like build a house. So I got this other nail gun that's like, it's got giant nails. It's so powerful, more recoil than a gun, and it runs on a lithium battery. It's pretty crazy technology. They call it airstrike technology. I don't know, but it's awesome. I'll show you my other one though. It's a DeWalt, and it's a finishing nailer. So that's the DeWalt. And this thing is a beast. This is what you use to like build a house or a building. I mean, you could, you know, the professionals use like gas-driven ones, but this has got the same amount of power, and the reason they don't use them is because it's heavier. See, it's pretty heavy, and then you got to put the battery in it. The battery's not that heavy, but compared to a gas-driven one, because on a gas one, you have most of the power being generated away from the thing you're holding, you know, so you don't have to hold too much weight. But this has still got enough power to build a house with. You know, you can put a frame together. And look at the size of the nails. I mean, they're huge. Look, I'll take them out. Look at that. They're massive. And it drives them in with extreme force. Like, it just like rocks whatever you're driving them into, you know what I mean? And now I'm going to finish this thing. So there's going to be pipes running all the way down. Like that. And they're all just here, see? So let's do that. And I'm going to have to run over to my miter saw. Basically just a saw on a bench. And how about that? I'm going to cut the saw. Saw. Whoever saw that. So, all I want to do is cut some bits of tubing, a bit longer than that, so let's do that. So the way this works, it slides. I'll put my safety goggles on. So it just slides back and forth, see? It's called a sliding miter saw. Let's spin it up. And that's it. So I need like 4 of these pieces. Alright, so we're going to pull these up now. I'm going to pull these up here. And you'll see why I cut these little pieces in a sec. Got my drill. So now I'm just going to measure this out so I can clamp these in. Oh yeah. So as you can see, these, the ones I just cut, they're going to fit in here. And it's going to join these together, right? Just like that. So that's it, just pop it in and done. That's it. So it continues on down the line, down the support shift. Just grab one of these. Shove it in here. Put it there. Put it there. And that's it. Beautiful. Oh, wrong. Whoops, I did it the wrong way. Oh my god. Oh, it looks like I ran out. I ran out of parts. See, I've only got these like odd bits. I don't even know why I bought all this crap. Look. These are close to what I need, but I need the 90-degree. Whoa, spider. Ah. Damn it. I know you saw that. It was only a daddy long legs, but I hate spiders anyway. But anyway, I've got all these bits and pieces, but nothing that I need. So I need to go to Bunnings and to the hardware store and buy some money for the elbows. So we'll leave it at that for now, and let's see how we're looking. Not bad, huh? So it's going to be full of strawberries. See, there's going to be one of these net pots in each side, and they're going to grow out of there. There's going to be like water recirculating down the line. Not just water, but a nutrient solution. So yeah, looking forward to see how this goes. So I'm filling up all the holes. And that's it. So I'll have probably one more running down here, and that'll run down into a reservoir. And from there it pumps back to the top and just keeps recirculating. And the plants consume nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, basically all the minerals we do as well, like calcium, magnesium, everything basically. And you just keep adding those nutrients back in as they consume them. So you have to keep a balance. You've got to balance. You got to keep the pH balanced as well. That's very important. And you'll see, I'm going to have this. That's going to be the reservoir, this tub. So it's all going to drain back down into this tub and then get pumped back to the top, and just constantly flowing. And the roots grow inside there. And this is called NFT, or nutrient film technique. Hopefully we'll get some good fruit. I'll show you this at night though, so you'll see the lights. So it's nice and early, got up, no alarm clock, went to bed nice and early last night. So that's the way to do it, isn't it? Just spring out of bed. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a few things here. Not much, but I'll clean this out later. By the end of today I'll have this all cleaned out. And I'll take a photo periodically. Oh. Alright, let's go to the hardware store. See, nice and early, got the planes overhead. So let's go to the hardware store. Bunnings, remember Bunnings? That's the place where they checked my bag that time, remember? And they weren't allowed to open it. Remember that?
Just open the big ones.
Sorry?
Just the big ones.
Oh, you can open it.
Oh, I'm not allowed to.
You're not allowed to open it. But you want to check it, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense.
That's just what we have to do. It's your bag, so I'm not allowed to touch it.
Yeah, so we're not supposed to touch your property. Yeah, so we're not supposed to touch your property.
Yeah, so we're not supposed to touch your property. Yeah, so we're not supposed to touch your property. Yeah, so we're not supposed to touch your property.
Funny people. Alright, so let's go. It's raining actually. It's actually raining, look. You probably can't see it, but oh. Not the best of weather. But I don't have an EUC right now, as you know, so it doesn't matter. If I did have my EUC, I would definitely be using that to go to the hardware store right now. Because I only need to get like a few small pieces, you know, just fit in a bag. But like I told you, I don't know if you watched my other video where I was showing you this greenhouse, but these long pieces here, see up here, these pieces of wood, they go all the way to the end. They're like 5 meters long, so like 15 feet. And I actually used my EUC to carry those when I built this greenhouse. So it was like, in total there's only 4 of those pieces. And yeah, it worked fine, worked out fine. Because they actually wouldn't fit in my van, believe it or not. So the van, my big van, couldn't do the job. Only my EUC could do it. Because you can just carry it, you know. So let's go to the hardware store. And in the hardware store, we'll use my 360 camera. So we can, so I don't have to point the camera, you know, to film whatever. So I'm actually gonna try and return a bunch of stuff when I go there. So all these plastic things I don't need. And these metal things I don't need either, but I don't have the receipt for anything except for the metal things. We might have trouble returning the stuff without the receipt. So we'll see how we go. And by the way, I'm holding the 360 camera now, so it might look a bit different. Alright, in the van. In the van we go. Look, you can see the greenhouse on the way past. Actually, I'll stick it out this window instead. Alright, here we are at Bunnings. Got my box here. Gonna try and return all this stuff. I've got the receipt for some of it, but some of it I don't, so it'll be interesting. I just want to return some stuff. I've got 8 of these, and it's the wrong size. It's like doesn't really fit. It kind of fits, but not really. So I had to go to like a plumbing store. And I've got the receipt for those. There should be 8 of them. Yeah, just there. It's on there, like it's the $25 one. And oh yeah, I'll sort that out first, isn't it?
Some other returns?
Yeah, I've got all these, but I don't know where. Like,
you don't have the receipt.
I'm not sure if it's some of that stuff because it's like lots of different pieces. And oh, sorry, yeah, that should be the other one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and yeah, all of this stuff. Nah, no. Oh, just in case, I guess. Awesome, thanks for that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. Got our return. Didn't need the receipt. So they have their pros and their cons. They want to check your bag a lot, but they give you returns without receipt, so there you go. That's why I didn't bring my bag. I bet you if I had my bag, they would have wanted to check it. They want to look inside. Smash that like, guys. Smash it. One thing about the like button that I've noticed, or a long time ago really, is that when you hit the like button, it says add the video to your list or whatever. Like add this video to your list of liked videos, right? Like you're filling up some massive list every time you hit the like button, you know? That's how YouTube makes you feel about it. So it's like, oh, like where's this list? Is it just gonna explode? You know? But it's not like that. You just, I mean, it kind of technically is, I guess. It's in the database, but it should just say like, you know, not add to list of videos. Do you know what I mean? So smash that button, guys. Don't be worried about filling up that list. It's not gonna explode, break the internet. So smash it, guys. Even if you think the button's already broken, you might have smashed it earlier, you know. Actually, don't hit it twice, then you're gonna unlock it. Alright, so we're gonna head back. We got these pieces here, and that's it. We're gonna finish off that job we were doing. So it's like 7 in the morning now, or a bit after. It's like 7:30 now, and yeah, it's stopped raining. It's looking a bit better. Might go out for a walk on the trail a bit later. Alright guys, we're back from Bunnings. I finished setting up the rest of the pieces, and you can see there's 6 rows now. And it starts all the way at the top here. There's going to be a pipe, or like a tube, running from this reservoir down here up to the top there, and the water runs down and it just follows these tubes. See? And it runs all the way down to the bottom and then back into the reservoir. And that system I showed you guys in the food video that I designed, that's going to be running here as well. So that's going to be controlling all the nutrients and the distribution of the nutrients. So I'll show you guys that in a future video once this is all set up. And the thing I'm going to do next as well is finish this guttering system. So you see these tubes here? So I'm going to set it up here, right? It's going to go there and then down into like a storage container. So I'll store the rainwater for use inside here, because this reservoir here needs to be maintained full. So I'll use the rainwater that falls on this roof to take care of that. But of course the system will take care of it. It's going to be all automatic. And yeah, it's going to be good once it's ready. Can't wait. Alright guys, thanks for watching. It's awesome that you stuck around to the end. I'll see you real soon in a new video. Hopefully I'll have my EUC back by then. Alright guys, catch you then.